In addition, during the slavery years in the United States, many blacks owned slaves. We know this from when recently state governments required an audit of insurance companies and their racial insurance policies in order to do business in their state. The insurance companies complied and found, much to everyone's surprise, that many blacks were slave owners too. We can talk more about the very active pro-slavery role that many black people played during slavery and the active role they played back in Africa, because I am a racist and we do pay extra attention to race in history and life, but that is for another conversation.
Well, the slaves were brought here by whites, so racist or not, all of the whites should have to live with them.
That is my point. Only man-made evils such as slavery and colonialism and economic exploitation brought the races together. Prior to this, for us to live together was not natural. Whether you want to call it because of God, Mother Nature, evolution or whatever, the races lived separately for thousands of years. This is a right which cannot be abridged, just because a plagiarist who spread divisiveness throughout our country in the 60s wanted it to be. Why would the civil wrongs marchers want integration so badly, even to the point where they were inciting and antagonizing the very people who they wanted to integrate with? Even though those people did not want to be with the civil wrongs marchers? That is called masochism.
But they had no other place to go.
Yes, they did. They had Liberia among other countries to go to in Africa, Liberia meaning liberty. As a matter of fact, in 1862, President Lincoln extended official recognition to Liberia. At the end of the Civil War in 1865, freed African American slaves went there, only to treat the local people who lived there before them as second-class citizens.
Well, racists don't contribute anything to our society and should be ignored and not taken seriously.
Many have criticized Nobel Prize winner Dr. James Watson and Nobel Prize winner Dr. William Shockley as being racists. Dr. Watson is credited for having co-discovered the double helix DNA strain, which has been the precursor to all of our advancements in genetics today, such as in biotechnology, which has saved many lives. Dr. Shockley was the co-inventor of the transistor, which has revolutionized computers and electronics in a big way. His early work at his transistor company in Mountain View, California has been credited for contributing greatly to the early development of Silicon Valley, where much of the technological innovation for our modern-day lives has come from. The benefits from these two people alone are enjoyed not just by whites but by people of all races.
Wow.
Members of the racist community share much in common with everyone else. They have their strengths and weaknesses, they know happiness, they know sorrow, some are tall, some are short, some are conservative, some are liberal, some are good-looking, some are not so good-looking, some are very popular, some are lonely, some are Republican, some are Democrat, and some are independent. Many people you actually associate with may be racist and you don't even know it. In conversation they will agree with the homophobic media because they are going along to get along. When you hear someone say, "I am not racist," but there is actually a good chance they are racist. Racism is not just confined to white people. Racists can be Hispanic, Oriental, Asian, Indian, or even black. Just look at the Black Nation of Islam, who discriminates between black people and white people and their opinion of our contributions to society and their preference to associate with just other black people. And you know what? That is their right. As long as they are not harming anyone, who are we to tell them what to do? It is their free choice, just like it is the choice of racist whites and racist Orientals and racist Hispanics to associate with whomever they want to and not to be forced to integrate with who they don't want to.
But how can you appreciate diversity if you are homoracial? It is a given that diversity is superior.
This is my racial orientation. And diversity can breed divisiveness. University engenders unity. Why don't our universities teach university as opposed to diversity? Also, homoracial people are not telling heteroracial people who to associate with. Why are they telling us who we should associate with? Also, many people who hate racist people are hypocrites too. They like to give the impression that they are so humane and advocates for fairness, but it is quite the opposite in many cases. Take, for example, George Bundy, who was president of the Ford Foundation and used a portion of their massive wealth and power to provide great support, financial and otherwise, to the civil wrongs movement and against the racist community with his holier-than-thou attitude. This was right after he, as National Security Advisor under Presidents John F. Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson, escalated our involvement in the war in Vietnam and personally ordered increased bombings. His actions elevated our presence in a war that resulted in the deaths of thousands of American soldiers and tens of thousands of innocent Vietnamese. Yet this so-called righteous civil rights advocate is honored for his work in persecuting the racist community.
Well, I think I should not like you just because all my life, I have been told to hate racist people even if I do not know them personally. I was instructed by the television to basically be prejudiced towards you.
You are smarter than that. I just shared with you our side of the story and our persecution. You can think for yourself.
You were right, I don't hate racist people. All of this time I've been hearing only the hateful and homophobic, anti-racist views of the media. You were the best. I love a strong, independent man who stands up for himself.